Hey guys, so here's a 2-year update video on an Autoflex Express installation I did on my vehicle exactly 2 years to the day when I sprayed this in 2019 for Memorial Day weekend. I got the shop that I was working at the time to allow me to use the booth, and I wanted to kind of give a little bit of an update of condition, durability, and what it looks like after basically being daily driven for 2 years. I've put on probably about 40,000 miles in Michigan. So we get our hot, humid summers, cold, brittle winters. We get our chemical treated roads, dirt, sand. It's been driven against branches of bushes. It's taken some rocks to the front bumper, which I'll be showing you a few little areas of where it did take a hit, but it did its job as it was designed to. It's protecting my factory paint. I'm pretty confident my paint will be brand new underneath. So yeah, to begin with, I guess this is my 18 Fusion. I did a custom mix on this. I was going for a little bit different color if anyone followed this install years ago. This is actually a mango juice and carbon red that I mixed, and the mango juice really overtook the carbon and almost kind of gave it like a candy orange effect. And I did also on the gray portion, as you'll notice, it's actually a three tone. On the gray, I actually ended up putting copper pearl over it. So in direct light, I don't know if you're picking it up, you can see it on the highlights. It's got a copper that I kind of dusted over the juice and carbon red mix to kind of bring it all together. And I was trying to play off of the pearl white of my factory paint. Believe it or not, the back end of my car is still my factory paint. My main goal was A, try to find something that'll work with the white, and B, focus on the front so that it would protect the front end from impacts and whatnot. And here we go, I was playing off the door jambs. Obviously white door jambs in any color kind of make it difficult to come up with a scheme that actually works well. So there you go. I did have to break off the Autoflex, as you have noticed, right here on the panels. And if you look, the edges are the Autoflex Express gloss. They haven't lifted, they haven't done anything goofy. There's all my masking in there around these seals. Little tiny bit of lifting, but I believe that's from when I was peeling the masking. I had it so tight up against there, then it was inevitable that it was going to lift it up. Those seals are kind of a pain in the butt to deal with, but from 5 feet away, not even noticeable. Same thing here. I've got nice crisp lines, haven't started lifting. So we're going from factory paint here, and that's Autoflex. And it does have a little tiny bit of a lip. Nothing any more than what a vinyl wrap would have if you were to do a partial vinyl wrap. This right here, these lines right here, I actually, when I sprayed it, I did the gray first, then I did the red and orange combo mix over it, and then after I glossed everything, I wet sanded it down and polished it up, and that was the only time I actually took a wheel to it. Other than that, what you see is basically 2 years of automated car washes, brushing with the do-it-yourself car wash brushes. So you might see some light scratches and whatnot. But I've been pretty abusive to this stuff, and it's done exactly what I've asked of it. Protect the car. I treat this car as if it was a car that I'm going to be keeping. It is a lease, and I'm coming up on 3 years of ownership on this thing. Here's the roof. As you can see, nice and glossy. I did wet sand this car. All the horizontal panels I did finish in about 1,000, 1,500 grit. and then use your traditional automotive paint compounds and polishes. On the sides, believe it or not, I used 800 grit and I polished that, or maybe even I went 600. I think it was 800. It's been a while, but it does still have the same gloss it had when I had finished the vehicle. So yeah, same thing on this side. I did have a masking mishap. I didn't even bother trying fixing this. This kind of ripped up the edge a little bit. I just kind of left it there, just kind of show people some of the nature of the beasts of if, you know, you get a little careless. Plus to try to trim it and doing all that stuff. It's my daily. I'm not looking for car show awards or anything. But no edge from the orange to the gray. I did get like a chip here. It did chip off the gloss right there. Don't know what hit that, but it didn't make it all the way through, didn't dent it or anything, so I'm happy to see that. It took the grunt of the hits of anything that was impacting it. So we're going to come back over to the front here, and I'm going to focus on the meat and potatoes of this whole application. We're going to start on this side. I do have an issue going on here with my front bumper, and this, I'm going to admit, is on me. So as you'll notice, I do have like a bubble that's probably collected some water and dirt and stuff over the time. I did have bridging here. This is a very, very tight fitting bumper. Even from the factory, they have issues with it actually causing paint to rub off the bumpers, and you gotta warranty it out or whatnot. So this did bridge, and just over time of pressure washers hitting it, you know, bumper flexing and whatnot, and vibrating, it did open up that pocket, and that's where a lot of the issues happen, where people have lifting and whatnot. If their seals shifting around, it will eventually loosen enough to where air can get in there, water, moisture, etc., etc. So this I'm going to take part fault on. That was my fault. I should have probably loosened this bumper, maybe pulled it away a little bit. I was kind of a little pressed for time, and this is what happens. You get a little bit sloppy, and then just over time, it does fail. This has been like this for probably, I'm going to say probably 6 to 9 months. So basically before winter hit here. It's, May 30th right now. So yeah, about November, December is when it started doing it. So probably the temperature fluctuations and shrinking and all that. The next impact I'm going to show, I do have a chip. Autoflex will chip. Not as easily as paint though, because it is a lot more pliable. But what you'll notice is the Autoflex took the hit, but my paint is intact. The chances of a rock actually hitting that same exact spot and actually getting to the paint are slim to none. So that's actually a good thing. It took the grunt of the hit, otherwise I'd be missing paint right there. Another spot I got here, this one I can't figure out. I have a little bit of stress cracking right here. Same thing, I've got a chip right here in this spot. Hasn't gotten any worse. It's a little flat, but it hasn't gotten any worse. And it's stress cracked. I'm kind of thinking I maybe had something, not like a rock, maybe more of like a chunk of concrete or something that would have a little bit of give to it, but it flexed the bumper enough to where it cracked the surface of the Autoflex. But again, it took its hit, and the chances of it getting hit exactly in that same spot are going to be slim to none. Even down low, I have these vinyl wrapped. There's little chips in the vinyl wrap. Vinyl wrap, compared to the thickness of the Autoflex that's applied to the front, I did extra coatings on the front here. It took more of a beating on this vinyl than it did on the Autoflex. And you'll notice I've got a few little chips in there. Due to the design of the bumper, it catches a lot of stuff down there. But it is intact. It is doing its job that it's designed for. And then here, again, something caught this and made a big old flap. That has nothing to do with the product, just nature of the beast. It hit something, or something hit it. It made a big flap, and what I did is I actually re-liquefied the base coat and stuck it back down with some naphtha, and it's been on there for, oh god, close to a year now. And another little chip right there. My paint is still intact, so it took the grunt of the hit. And then we start going around over here. If you look very closely, I don't know if you're going to pick this up on camera, I do have some surface nicks that happen from, you know, debris hitting the surface. I got one right here, got one right here, I got a few on my hood right here. Comparatively to paint, since that is my number one thing that I do is painting and body work, I would say this stuff's a lot more resilient than paint is, because it's got a little bit of give to it. It's a lot more pliable, it has more flex, and then from an impact like that, it can kind of hold up a lot better. Again, vinyl wrapped, you can see all these little chips. Same area on the vehicle. It's a little dirty. Got a couple little nicks here in the Autoflex, but it's holding up really darn well. Same thing here. And here's a perfect example of that bridging. I don't know if you can see that. A little bit of gloss buildup in there. And right in that same area, due to the flexing and it pulling away and moving around in the wind, you know, just from naturally moving around when you're driving, it did lift up and had a little bubble, but this bubble has not progressed any worse. And then right on this corner, same thing. You can see how it's bridged. This, I'm going to admit, is me getting a little sloppy with not loosening that bumper and getting that gloss really wrapped around. So anyone really doing these for customers, loosen the bumpers, get that gloss around the edge, and you won't have any of these issues. This was just me really pushing the product to its limits and doing this whole job in about 2 days, 2.5 days. Other than that, condition wise, I'm gonna say it's held up pretty well for 2 years. I would be confident to say I could probably go another year or two before this thing either gets boring or just takes enough hits to really destroy the front bumper to have to respray it. And to respray it and recreate this color probably wouldn't be worth the effort for me. I'd probably go with a different route. Nothing on the roof here. No chipping, no scratching. I mean, it's kind of hard to pick up, so hopefully you guys can just trust me that it's holding up well. Even on the leading edge of the roof where the windshield is, where a lot of cars get chipped up, no evidence of any damage. And actually, this is another big one. Someone nicked my car within the first week of me spraying it, and they took a nice little chunk, but this hasn't gotten any worse. And again, my paint is intact. That's the key to this product, is it protects. It's the sacrificial layer. So hopefully this little walk around, pointing out some of the little defects over time that have happened, show that this stuff doesn't just fall off the car, doesn't peel off on its own, it doesn't just bubble up on itself naturally. Usually it's due to slipping here, slipping there. And the two major issues are on the end of my bumper, but like I said, they started doing it about, let's say 6 to 12 months ago, and they haven't gotten worse. They just kind of started and then they just stopped. And I basically just drive this thing daily. You know, I get bugs and everything on this car. I actually have a couple suicidal bugs on the front end here. I don't wipe this thing down with a diaper. I don't wax it every single day. It's seen 1 or 2 spray wax type applications on it. I don't wax it. I don't rub it and polish it every week or two. You got 1 polishing job, and what condition you see it in now is basically what to expect after 2 years. Hopefully that helps anyone wondering about the product and gives some good information. Thanks for watching.